Well, our next guest is one of the most beloved talk show hosts of all time, and now she's sharing memories from the Ricki Lake Show on her new podcast.
Ricki co-hosts the series with the hilarious Kalen Allen. Please welcome Ricki and Kalen. I have to laugh. They were steaming Ricki's dress backstage, and I thought it was for me. And I was like, oh, we've upped our budget.
It's just a few sizes bigger than you would be, but thank you.
And Mario, you would look great in this. We can do a little
I was admiring it. I'm not gonna pull those off. Those
Thank you.
Fire right there. Okay. So the two of you host Raised by Ricki.
We do.
Yeah, tell us about it and how'd you get involved?
So Lemonada Media is the company that approached me, and I had been approached every year to do a podcast, and it never felt right. And they came with the concept of doing like a retrospective of the old show, kind of with 90s nostalgia being huge. And then we found, well, I can't say we found him. I guess Ellen DeGeneres found you?
I mean, yes,
kind
but
of.
you found me in the world to be able to do this.
I found the perfect cohort. He and I love him. Like, I feel like he's such a superstar, and it's just been a joy. He's only 26. My oldest son is 25, so he could be my son.
Yeah.
And he didn't grow up with my show. And so
I practically am.
You kind of are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't we look alike?
You do. And I heard the chemistry was instant. So what do you remember about coming in to meet Ricki? Like, what do you think it was?
Well, okay, so this is how it happened. So I was in New York, because that's where I actually live. And I was at brunch with a friend of mine, DeRay McKesson, and DeRay was like, Ricki Lake is starting this podcast. They're looking for people to be a co-host, and I just happened to be in LA that following week. And so I was pulled into a pilot, and I met Ricki then. We sat down, and we're recording it, and we're doing the pilot. Then all of a sudden, Ricki stops it, and it's like
10 minutes in, I'm like, he's the guy.
Yeah.
Like, can we just stop? Like, he's the one. And and they're like, we need to negotiate with him. Like, we need a little leverage here.
Right.
But it was
Play
so
a little
clear.
hard to get. You're like,
I know.
boom, done.
And then I was like, let's do it.
So the show, essentially, it is what?
It's basically us. Some of it is us looking at old episodes and breaking them down. Some of it is having old celebrity friends of mine like Rosie O'Donnell, Andy Cohen, talking about the genre of talk television in the 90s, talking about where we are today, looking at it from a cultural standpoint, historically, what we did back then was, you know, you grew up with my show, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's
I'm
like
that era.
what we were able to do back then when there were only, you know, really a few channels to choose from. We were like sort of the water cooler moment, the thing everyone was talking about, what was going on, Ricki. And yeah, it's just, I have never, because my career kind of went in other directions, I never really spent the time to kind of reflect and look at what the show was. And it's just really fun to do it with him.
I bet it's a lot.
We're having a blast.
We were just talking earlier, because back when you were doing the show and during that time, there was only a few channels. So when you were famous, that's like real famous. Now, there's like 1,000 channels and everyone's on TV.
Right.
So it's hard to really kind of
I
break
miss the
out.
old days. It was like, remember when you had to do the one channel?
Oh, you're going way back now, Hoover.
I'm so old, I remember Betamax, okay?
Of course.
I'm dating myself.
Kalen,
You even know what that
I
is?
don't know what that is. I had an antenna that we would have to shake and move, you know, to make sure the channel came in clear, but I don't know nothing about no Betamax.
Betamax was pre-VCR.
Oh, okay.
You
like
know
a
the
TiVo kind of thing?
No.
No?
It was so, no.
like
Right? All
like a
the-
VHS kind of thing.
Yeah, I was like,
You ain't
okay.
tripping on that. Like an 8-track.
It's refreshing.
It's refreshing. How was Rosie O'Donnell? Tell us about that.
She was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think people that are listening to that interview are hearing her in a way that they never heard her before. She and I go way back. Look at that picture. That's from the 90s when we both were doing our show. And like both Ellen and Rosie came to me wanting to know what is the talk show schedule like? Give me the breakdown. How does it work? And I gave them, you know, I told them what it was like. And Rosie went on to do it, and Ellen, and he of course came out of Ellen. And yeah, talk television has changed a lot in the since I was back on the air.
Tell us about your hunt for the wig snatch couple.
So, like we said, we bring on a lot of people onto the podcast, but we also love to bring on past guests from the show so we can get behind the scenes, you know, scoops on
What happened
they
after,
experienced.
yeah.
Right. But we cannot find the iconic wig snatch episode. We have been searching for these people all over the place.
I mean, what can we do to find the wig snatchers? We need to double back and find out how they're doing, how the weave
How does
is.
someone contact you?
I mean, at Ricki Lake, he's the Kalen
Email,
Allen.
whatever,
I'm
call
available.
me.
Yeah, we want you. We want
Guys,
to hear.
we're gonna find the wig snatchers, but
Oh,
stick
wow.
around, guys, because coming up, we have a blast from the Ricki Lake Show cast you don't want to miss. Buckle up.
Brings you back, right?
Whenever Weaven Steven stopped by the Ricki Lake show, you knew it was going to be a good time.
I was next level with them wigs. All right, we are back with Ricki Lake and Kalen Allen. So tell us about Weaven Steven. What did he do on the show?
Well, he and there's also Sharon, the weave master. We saw her too. They would do fantasy hair basically, and we'd make
Doorbell.
Who's at the door?
Is Weaven
Just
Steven
like the,
here?
Who's at the door?
No way!
Hey, one more thing.
One more?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Old school. How long has it been since y'all seen each other?
It's so good to
That's
see you.
amazing.
How long has it been? How you doing, Weaven?
Oh my God.
Hey, Weaven Steven. Can I call you Weaven or Steven? Have a seat right there.
Both of them.
How long has it been since y'all seen each other?
Well, you did the podcast with us.
Yes. Yes.
But that was like a week or two ago.
Oh,
Yes.
so not too long. All right.
But not in person. I haven't seen him in 25 years.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
2004 was the last time.
2004, 20
Because we did the
years.
very last episode called Bye, We're
I
Weaving.
must be going. I've got to go. I must be weaving.
And Weaven
funny.
Steven, what do you remember about being on Ricki's show back in the day? Like, what did it mean to you?
Well, I'll tell you what, when I was first contacted by the staff at Ricki Lake, I got so overwhelmed at the salon, I got tears in my eyes. Because it was like the first big opportunity that I had to showcase myself on national television.
Exactly.
Did you have a favorite of Weaven Steven's hair?
You had the helicopter, the hairy
Helicopter,
the helicopter. That crew
Crazy.
that flew into the crowd. Yeah,
Yes,
that
and
was,
I caught
that
it.
was
Remember, I caught it on. Yes,
I remember.
I caught it on.
Those were the days, people.
Yes,
those were the days.
The good
So-
Ricki Lake life.
So Weaven, I gotta imagine that's his name. So I gotta imagine Ricki completely changed your life, right? When you started coming out on the show.
100%. Because this is what happened. Like after the show aired, it just seemed like all these doors opened up for me and opportunities just kind of rained down on me. I had appearances on America's Next Top Model. I had appearances on the Daytime Tyra show. I ended up being a dancer on Soul Train for 8 episodes.
Wow.
And
I had nothing to do with that.
No, well, because my name was out there so much, they let me come on, and they let me send a fantasy hairpiece down the Soul Train line, creating hair history on Soul Train.
Look at that.
And also, I created hair history on your show too, because I was the first person that ever created a flying hairdo and caught it.
All right.
And I also won the Golden Weave Award.
He did.
What does one win for that?
A spectacular
Exactly.
life. A spectacular life.
Is there a celeb you're dying to style?
Well, I'll tell you what. I would love to probably style Cardi B. Cardi, if you're out there, you hear me?
Yeah.
Because she wears the sculpted hairdos that I love, and they're just so polished and so neat. And I'd like to get connected with her sometime, maybe on one of her videos and something, and maybe do a sculpted themed hairdo to match the video.
I like that.
Weaven.
I can see it.
And on the side, now I've been on her shows a few times doing fantasy hair like Top Model, the Daytime Tyra show. I think Tyra needs to take a shot at wearing a fantasy hairdo too. I think Tyra should take a shot.
She could do it on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, she could.
It wouldn't be right to have Weaven here, right?
Can't have Weaven without a show.
Yes.
Yes.
It's
we're doing a
always a
show?
show.
Kalen, if you wouldn't mind going back and being one of the models, we
Yes, now. All right, now.
And Weaven, look behind you. We have some paddles.
Okay.
Okay. Pass those out. We're going to see.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank
If
you.
we would
Weave or leave.
Weave or
Weave or leave.
Oh my God. I'm
Okay,
so
are we ready
Let's
to
read
start
through it.
our show? Let's go. First models, come on out. We have the butterfly weave.
Ooh.
This is Asia.
Oh my God. You look good, girl.
Now, if you remember, I actually dedicated this hair design to Ricki because I told her, you give me butterflies.
Hey.
How long does it take to style this weave?
That took me about probably a week and a half to create.
Wow.
And then I applied it on the model.
Well,
Look at
I
that.
give
You're
her
an
a
artist.
weave. Definitely
You gotta
weave.
weave that.
Weave.
Weave that alone right there.
That's
Weave it.
Yeah.
Weave it. You're
Weave
weaving
that.
it. Great
Asia,
job.
you look
Amazing.
gorgeous.
Okay, Asia, thank you, Asia.
By the way, these are all of our staffers. This is so fun.
Let's see who we got next.
Really fun.
It's unbelievable.
All right, come on out,
we
model.
have Dayton, the bluefish.
wow. Oh, Dayton,
Oh, wow.
this is
Now-
great. That's a goldfish.
Yes.
Goldfish, but they're not.
But you know what?
Real.
Something's fishy around here.
Oh no.
Something's kind of fishy
my God.
around here.
She's a disco?
It's a disco ball in her head. No, it's gonna spin. It's gonna spin and light up. It's gonna spin.
Oh my gosh! Look at
that! You gotta weave that right there.
Yes. Weave it.
Good job.
That's amazing.
Dayton,
Nice.
you are
That's
fabulous.
fantastic.
Wow.
Thank you, Dayton.
Thank
Okay,
you.
next up we have our bejeweled look.
Let's see.
This is Kalen. Come on out,
Kalen. Kalen, killing the walk game.
Oh my
Dang,
God.
Kalen.
That is unbelievable.
Weaven, tell us about this one.
Well, this actually is a design that I actually do on a real client in Pittsburgh, from where I'm from, and she always wears the large sculptured rhinestone hairdos, and she gets a lot of attention from that. And she's definitely a staple in Pittsburgh for her weaves.
Hey, you know what? I don't know about the weave, but I give Kalen a weave.
Oh, weave it!
How's it feel? How's it feel?
It feels good.
All right.
Well, guys, a big thanks to all of our guests today. This was so much fun. And thanks to Weaven Steven for all of our models. Fantastic.
Raised by Ricki with Ricki Lake and Kalen Allen is available now on podcast platforms, so check it out.
All right, and coming up, whether you're a passionate Leo or free-spirited Pisces, your zodiac sign is connected to what you wear. Maybe with this hair, our style expert has your fashion horoscope next.